One was 800 ROBUX. Like, I really think you should have lowered it to like at least 500 because right now the price for the skin is kind of not worth it. Especially because I'm on mobile too, so it looks hella different compared to people that's on computer.
Yeah. That does I guess I can understand that. With the one thing that we should probably do moving forward is I know we do need to do a lot more testing for mobile, just to make sure that whatever you're getting on mobile is on the same quality or par with desktop users. With the price, I think, yeah, we could definitely look into like experimenting with price. It is as we continue to experiment with different like what is it, ultimate skins. It prices for these are probably going to be subject to change. Since this is I guess the first ultimate skin that we've added to the game, so there's not really a solid ground as to how much an ultimate should cost. And where its tier really stands compared to the different deluxe skins. Um, so yeah, but I think I can understand where you're coming from as a mobile user. I think the difference between this, because I know typically mobile optimizations, or at least mobile on Roblox has a bunch of different optimizations that that unfortunately does lower quality of some assets. So I guess we gotta look like our team probably needs to look into figuring out how can we make those effects noticeable enough on between mobile and desktop to really justify the price and the I guess the tier and rarity of this game.
Yeah, because you introducing the ultimate rarity is cool. It's just like I'm questioning on how this will be attainable. Would it be like obtainable to a ranked PvP?
For PvP, so it's not the Mako skin is not going to be available through PvP. It's going to be a whole separate line of other ultimate skins. I think we're going to. This is the initial launch for Mako. So down the road, we may look into different ways that we can make ultimate skins obtainable by, I guess, free to play users. But it's going to be very very hard because of the rarity. You can think of these being on par with like Huges and Pet Sim, or really just like really rare, like really rare skins. There are ways that we can look into it in the future. But ultimately, the ways for obtaining these still needs to be ironed out on our side.
Yeah, and the optimization right now, how is it looking? Because some people still experience lag, even though you guys are like trying to make it where it's not as laggy when we put in the game.
Yeah, we are looking into that. With actually, we're like, okay, so I guess one thing I can tell you guys is that our team, don't think of it as like we're working on one thing at a time, because we're all over the place working on, in order to be able to achieve updates on a weekly to bi-weekly schedule, we're working on multiple updates at once, and we're all over the place. So there are many things that the community know that we're already ahead of and working on. And many updates that are done and getting to. One of those being the optimization. We recently launched the first iteration of lobby optimizations last week, and I hope that really helped with, I guess, an initial boost in FPS. we're looking to continue, and trust me, we're constantly looking into ways to optimize our code, but also assets in the game, because really one of the things that one of the things that we have been struggling with optimization, we recently nailed down. So we kind of figured out the problem. Now we're just kind of working on implementing solutions for it, which takes a while. And unfortunately, I wish we could get it done in a snap of a finger, but it takes a while. But we're aware of it, and we're actively working on it. One thing that we're looking to add is a low quality mode as well, to sort of like for any low quality mode that goes beyond just normal Roblox quality. This includes like removing textures, setting things to smooth plastic, for lower end devices. But in terms of game code, for the highest performance, we're looking into other optimizations with that, in terms of the in-game portion. I know right now a lot of our focus is on the lobby. After the lobby, we'll be quickly focusing on in-game optimizations, to which we've already developed quite a few of.
Hmm.
And yes, I did see someone just mention new lobby, or ask if there's a new lobby coming. Yes, we are working on a new lobby set to come out, I believe, next month. Yes, I believe it's next month. And that new lobby has a lot of optimizations to graphics and meshes to make sure that mobile users and PC users have a much smoother experience. Because right now, our lobby is a little laggy due to all the mesh parts that we're using. So we have a much more optimized version coming next month. As I said, a lot of these things get worked on simultaneously, not at the same time. So we're all working on this at different times and parts. So there's a lot of moving gears when it comes to the development for TDS.
Yeah, because right now, every single time when I try to go to like a public server, I just straight up can't even load everything. Like I cannot even load because how laggy it is for the lobby. Most of the time, I have to use a private server because if I try to do like a public server, try to play with randoms, it won't let me load and fully, and I just lag out the lobby.
Yeah. So I guess I do want to ask a question about that. So to keep note of. So I guess this mainly happens to you when you're loading into a public server. You don't have issues in private servers.
Yeah, basically when I load into a private server, I load into just fine, but when I try to load to a public, it just kind of slows down. Everything starts to lag, like FPS are dropping for me.
Yeah.
It could be ice,
Yeah.
but I just don't know.
If you don't mind sharing, I guess, like, what kind of device are you using? Because I do have an idea that I guess you bringing that up to me does give me a good idea as to different areas that our team can start looking into for optimizations. Um, so
'Cause I don't know because I use a iPhone 12 to play TDS, and when I try to load to the lobby, it just won't. Like sometimes I don't even load in. Like
yeah.
everything just starts FPS dropping. I can't even like go to a public server. I have to do private servers. Otherwise, I can't really play the game at all.
I see. Yeah. One thing I will mention is that I believe Roblox is actually stopping support for iPhone 12, and the newest version that they're supporting, or the baseline that they're supporting, is iPhone 13. But since you did bring that up, I think one thing that might be causing lag issues could be tower pets or name tags. So one thing I could recommend to you is maybe disable name tags and tower pets in your settings, but on our end, we can look into optimizing those sections, specifically the name tags and tower pets, and maybe even prompting users to disable those settings if we notice a large spike in or a large drop in FPS.
Yeah,
So
because I'm not the only one that's having this issue. I know some people are complaining about the lag in the lobby and stuff. Because
yeah.
I hasn't the lobby been there for a few months now? Like uh, because isn't that the summer lobby that's in right now?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Because right, because right now it says I'm lagging in the lobby. Isn't that the summer lobby that's stayed in the game for a few months?
Yeah, it's been around for I believe about a year so far. So, um,
Yeah, maybe get like a new lobby fresh. Hopefully, this new lobby you guys are playing won't cause me to lag in the lobby because I really want to play with random. Because sometimes playing by myself it gets kind of boring.
yeah, we'll definitely we'll definitely be testing the new lobby on multiple devices, older and newer ones, to really make sure that we strike a good balance of optimization. So, yeah. But anyway, I think we're gonna move on. But thanks for giving me your opinions on the launch and I guess optimization, feedback on the game's optimization.
Yeah, it was good talking to you, Belong, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk in the stage.
No problem. Thanks. All right, moving on. I'm going to stay muted for about a minute while I go through the audience and choose a next person. Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Looks like you've been chosen to speak or so.
I guess I have. Um, First of all, I just want
You,
to start off by saying I think it's really cool that you're actually out here talking to the community because I don't think that many developers, especially like games besides TDS, are like trying to talk to the community. So I appreciate that.
yeah, and thanks. Yeah, it's really important for developers to really stay in touch with the community and just talk and interact with them. I'm doing my I'm doing my best to really respond and listen to the community. So this is pretty new for me because I haven't done many stages before. But thanks for accepting the invitation to speak. I do really want to hear your honest opinions with the rollout for this, and I guess for the Maka DJ skin, and I guess anything TDS related afterwards.
All right. I think for the DJ skin, um, personally, I don't have that much of an issue when it comes to monetizing like cosmetics and stuff because that doesn't really affect the game if other people can't get it. However, what I think a lot of people have an issue with is the fact that I think last week it was said that it wasn't going to be in a deluxe crate and it wasn't going to be RNG. And I mean, that was true. That didn't happen. But I think because no other skin has been released like this, it gave people the impression that it was going to come out for free. And I think that made a lot of people disappointed when, it turned out to be like $10 worth of Robux.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely see your point and I understand what you're saying. I think we could have definitely done a much better job with communicating the launch for the skin. I know I kind of left it really vague and up in the air. But I think moving forward, one of the biggest lessons that we've learned, at least expressed from the community, is just to be more transparent when it comes to these experimental features. Yeah, because I think this is one of the most experimental features that we've launched within the last 3 months. I think yeah, we need to just be more transparent with it as to the launch for it. So that way we can get people's expectations aligned with ours.
Yeah, I think hyping and expectations have a lot to do with it. Mainly, I mean, I think that's a lot to do with the backlash. And I mean, this is just preference, but I think a lot of people just don't think it's worth that much. 750 Robux is pretty expensive because that's basically the price of like an event tower. And I think a lot of people personally think an event tower is a lot more valuable than a skin.
Yeah.
But you said that other like ultimate skins are gonna come out in PvP. Is that including like you can obtain them from that? Is that including the DJ skin?
The DJ skin won't be obtained from PvP since we have a very special line of skins that we're developing called champions for PvP. So this is kind of its own one-off test before we really commit to ultimate skins because this is like what we're trying to do with Mako DJ is see, hey, can we commit with this with Ultimate Skins as a whole? How do we need to how do we need to go about this approach? What do we have to change? How can we improve the next time around? So this is oh, I just got kicked, but yeah, this is
No
more or
way.
less like a test before we really get into like expanding ultimate skins.
Hmm. All right. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You gotta test it out first.
Yeah.
Um, I personally, I mean, I understand you guys said about the whole rollout thing, but I think maybe sometime in the future it'd be good if like DJ was at least obtainable somehow for free because even with things that are locked in the deluxe crate, like you have a chance to get them from missions and stuff. That's not possible with the DJ skin right now. So if it could be added to like, a mission or something in the future, I think the community would like that.
I guess one of the questions I have for you regarding that, and this is really goes out to the community, and this is sort of like a rhetoric question at the same time, is that like if we were to introduce a free way to get the Mako DJ skin, like would the community be fine with it being extremely low odds or extremely difficult? Because one of the things that come with the Mako DJ skin is that it's hard to make these skins and it's not only does it cost us a lot of money on resources to make these skins and a lot of just it takes us a lot of time. We don't know if this is something like when I say a lot of time, like the entire team gets involved from music to sound design to art to concept art to engineering. So part of us I kind of wonder like if we can't really turn much of a I guess if we can't really monetize off this, right? Is it really worth it for us to put these resources into skins opposed to working on things such as towers, right? So if we were and one way that we could offset that is by either having it be a low chance in something like a crates or a low chance in something like a item drop or by having an extremely long and painful quest. which isn't the optimal choice for me because I don't want to really make players have to suffer in order to get a skin, right? No one wants to do that. It's it's like I guess what I'm trying to look for feedback from the community as to how we can try to strike a right balance if we're to have some sort of option for a free to play way to obtain at least this specific ultimate skin.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like what you're saying about like you don't want the community to have to like grind for it and stuff. I think realistically, uh, I of course, hold on. If it's like between RNG like being rare and being hard to get, I definitely think people would 100% prefer hard to get because I mean personally myself like I think like RNG or any kind of gambling is just like kind of scummy or stupid because I feel like if you really want to get a skin, you should be able to put the time in and be able to get it.
Mm.
And I think TDS is already a really grindy game. I mean, if you want to get like golden skins, it takes like several hours for each skin. So I don't personally think the community has any issue with like grinding several hours for a mission. But I also 100% understand what you mean about turning a profit and that you guys need to make the skin worth the time. So I think if you guys do have a mission that's like really hard to do, there's definitely going to be people that skip the mission because that's already a feature. So maybe like make it like a special rarity of mission that's more expensive to skip but takes a lot longer. Because I mean, personally, the second I see the update, I just buy it. I mean that probably is because I'm a content creator. I need to make a video on it, but I think there's a lot of people who have the same mindset like that just buy it without thinking. So I think you guys can still turn a profit while still giving people the opportunity to get it for free.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. Yeah. I guess ultimately, like we do collect analytics on some things, such as like mission complete, and how many missions are getting bought out. And we do kind of use that to sort of like help us like figure out, hey, do we want to make this a dev product instead of a crate item? But I think yeah, now that you like sort of put it that way, I'll definitely have to put out. I definitely do want to keep like getting people's opinions on whether or not they would like a mission quest that's really difficult for this. With while having the option to unlock it with Robux. So what I probably will do is I'll put out a poll, see like, hey, if like we add this as a mission quest, will you guys be fine with it? Because I think one thing that a lot of people and a lot of our team kind of notice is like one way or the other, whatever we do, the community will have some sort of large amount or some sort of backlash if it involves any grind. So we'll see what we can. We'll see after RDC. Our team is we'll sort of like gather together, look at all this feedback again, and figure out like how can we how like try to propose something, right? And we'll throw it out there, see what you guys think.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Just like get the general community's idea on it. When you say difficult, do you mean as in like challenging, like really hard, like quick draw, or do you mean like takes a long time?
Both, because our goal, at least our team's goal with this skin, is to make it extremely rare. Hence, why it's called the ultimate rarity, right? So it would be a combination of both. Think of it sort of as like clearing one of those things in Final Fantasy. It's difficult and lengthy.
All right. Is it cool if I ask a couple questions about like content creator stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and ask questions about content creator stuff. I've
All right.
actually
So
looked.
one of the things that I think like every single content creator thinks is really annoying is the fact that let's say you want to just get like a clip of like a tower, right? You have to get into like a 30-minute game, grind up farms just for like a 5-second clip or something.
Yeah.
And we already, oh, personally, this might just be me, and I don't think most other content creators have access to this, but I can get help from developers to like showcase skins and stuff. So if those tools are already like available and you guys are willing to help us out with admin commands and stuff, I mean, I think it would be really helpful if there was some kind of like sandbox mode or like a testing server where we could just spawn in stuff way faster or just at least give ourselves infinite cash.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring this up because remember how earlier in this stage I said that our team is working on a ton of things at once?
Yeah.
So one of the things that our team is, I'm just going to drop this bomb right here, is that we're working on one of the ways that we're looking to sort of like find a striking balance between sort of like monetization and functionality is we're actually pretty much almost done with admin commands, Game Pass. Obviously, when you use these admin commands, none of your stats save, but and there's a pretty high, and I will be transparent with the pricing. There's a pretty high barrier of entry to get access to these admin commands, but we allow users to assign multiple admins once you buy this. So you can buy it and you share it with your friends, and basically it's almost like a sandbox mode, except it has a lot more functionality, and allows you to do things like play old game modes, experience old bosses. Eventually, it'll go out and expand to the wave editor that we've been working out, but that's coming pretty soon. So that is one thing that I'm hoping really helps out with content creators moving forward in the future. And this is something that we're looking to launch. The feature is almost done. It's been taking us a while to build because TDS is almost 5 years old. We have a lot to work around with and work around, but that's coming out like I'd say I think close to Thanksgiving. Don't quote me on that, but it's like almost there.
Hell yeah, bro. That's fire. That's like exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, and ultimately, like we're looking for community feedback on it, which is why I'm deciding to say this now and be transparent with its pricing model, and like it's going to be a one-time purchase. It's going to be expensive, but as I said, you get to share this with multiple of your friends. I believe we have it around 3 to 5 admins that you can just assign it to, and they can jump into your private server whenever they want, and basically get access to do those admin commands. So
Okay. So basically, get ready for a pretty high price tag.
yeah, I would say get ready for a pretty high price tag, and one of the reasons why we're deciding to put a high price tag to it is because admin commands can be pretty destructive to how you play the game. Like the moment you get admin commands, you kind of see the game entirely different, and there's a large chance, at least from our research, there's a large percentage of players that just drop off the game as soon as they get access to admin commands, as well as developers that kind of just, and this is a lot of anecdotes from our dev teams and other devs where they just stop enjoying the game the moment they get admin commands. So it's a really risky feature, which is why we kind of have this barrier of entry.
All right. I assume you know the game BTD6, another
Yeah,
tower defense game.
yeah, I believe
I think, I mean,
this.
because I've never personally played sandbox mode and been like, oh, I don't want to play this game again. I feel like, what kind of things are people getting with admin commands? Is it like, it's just like in-game commands, right? It's not like you're giving yourself a tower, right?
You get access to every single tower that you own. You can spawn in any enemy, pretty much any enemy, any unit, etc. You can change what is it? You can change maps on the fly. You can load in old game modes and experimental game modes. So think of things like 2019 Golden Mode. That is actually something that we've ported over to admin commands. And eventually, we're working on this is going to come into the update after its initial launch, Wave Editor, which allows you to create your own custom game modes.
What? That's damn. Okay, big news. All right. Um, yeah, I think that
The
definitely would be like a super positive change.
engineering that goes into this, and not only do you get to make your own custom game modes, you get to load in other people's custom game modes, and we're working on a whole search algorithm and discovery page for it. It's huge, that comes with sandbox mode.
So you
And
guys are basically making like the challenge editor, like from BTD6. You know how like it has like the custom challenges people can make?
It's basically like a glorified challenge editor. And obviously custom game modes, that's something we're still trying to figure out how to go about allowing users to access those with sandbox mode. We don't know if it's going to be only for people with sandbox mode or if it's going to be for all users. So that's something up in the air, which is why it's a separate update. But the initial version of sandbox mode comes out with pretty much unlimited towers, modifiers to the game, map changing, different game modes, including some legacy ones, and a bunch of other things that really change up how you can interact and play with the game.
That is going to be a big change. All right.
Yeah,
Definitely think that's good to like set yourself apart from other games too, because I don't think I've seen any other tower defense game have something like that.
yeah, it's we're definitely. I don't know if like, and this kind of goes to the community. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like within the last year, we've really been experimental with things, extremely experimental. We're trying to find ways to continue to innovate tower defense. Because here's the thing: there's a lot of tower like after 2000, like after TDS came out in 2019, it was kind of the leading innovator, right, in tower defense, and it brought a lot of things to the table that a lot of tower defense games and pretty much almost every single tower defense game, Roblox takes from TDS and follows whatever we add. So we're kind of like we're trying to figure out how we can experiment, push boundaries, and just innovate in this space. So yeah, it's a lot of experimentation this year.
All right.
Yeah.
Just one thing about updates. I've heard other people talk about this too. It seems that TDS is, you guys are very experimental, so you guys seem very focused on adding like brand new content and stuff. But it does kind of feel like some updates get added and then never come back to that. Like for example, consumables, they haven't been changed since they got added, and like a lot of them are just like the balancing is kind of weird on some of them, and so it sometimes it kind of feels unfortunate when like the goal is so heavily focused on adding new content in order to bring new players when some things like in the past might need to be polished up on.
Yeah, I it's something that we've been, I guess, working on tackling recently. We've been on the backlog. We have a big, we have a really big backlog of things that we're working on, and we have consumables on that. I know some things like consumables, and let me try to think of another feature that we haven't touched in a while. Honestly, like you could literally say golden perks themselves haven't been touched in forever as well. Um, they kind of unfortunately they do sometimes kind of fall into the cracks based off of because we're trying to deliver what players want to see the most. We have analytics telling us, hey, these are the features being most successful, and these are the most successful features. So while while right now it does feel like consumables are in a way a little neglected. We are constantly right now we've basically taken a bunch of the community feedback that we've gathered over a couple of months onto one document, a design document, to figure out how we can improve it. And basically from there, once we get it into a sweet spot where the community isn't really complaining too much about it, where we can actually have a purpose for it, a meaningful purpose for it in the core game loop, then we're gonna try to constantly make it a routine to keep up with those.
All right. So yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's most of what I want to talk about.
Cool.
I appreciate you bringing me up here. Also, your defense kind of sucks. You looked at every single enemy.
Thanks. Yeah, I know. I kind of I suck so much that I got kicked from the game.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna finish my food now.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. I need I'm going to look around and take maybe about like two more people to come up on stage to just talk with me. So give me one moment.
below. Just let me know if you need me to increase the slow mode on the chat. It's 1 minute right now.
Okay, we've invited someone.
Oh, hello.
Hi, and we also have some stream bombing people. Tyler.
Yeah.
So
And
we
Paul.
got and Violet. So we have two more of the devs here on call with us who I guess joined this talk. But hi Midnight.
What's going on?
Yo, I think we chose you because we noticed that you we noticed you from one of the streams. I think it was Jordan's streams, right? So
I just hang out
yeah.
with Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of saw you in the crowd, and we're like, hey, let's talk to you because you get involved with like a lot of
I saw you
live streams and just live updates. So I think we thought like, hey, let's talk to you. So where to start? I guess thoughts on thoughts on
Oh,
Maka DJ launch. Let's
uh,
like raw thoughts. Like we want.
it could have been better, but yeah, it definitely could have been better though. I mean,
Yeah.
I do agree with a lot of the community, making a Robux paid skin, but then you have the other side where it's like, oh, this is an ultimate skin. It's going to be really, really rare and something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I guess like one of the things that we're trying to figure out is like how do we strike that balance, right? How do we
Yeah.
strike that balance between having it be extremely rare while like making it, I guess, worth our time to like develop? and that's what this
Mhm.
that's what this that's what this launch is for figuring out that process. So I guess necessarily. I'm not like picking you out of a crowd to tell us like the solutions because we can't come up with solutions in like immediately. That's
Right. There's gonna be some
on us to
conflict.
figure out. But I do want to hear like I guess like with the launch, like what were your impressions with the launch? When I guess things went live for the first time in the update, and you saw the Mako DJ skin, and I guess
Hmm.
any like throwing stuff that's both like negative and positive. We kind of want to see like, hey, what did we hit? What did we miss?
It needs some thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I think I predicted something like this was gonna happen because, well, I was in the test server yesterday. I saw that you all were gonna make it Robux, and I was like, oh, the community might not like this. We'll have to see how this goes. And well, here we are today. But yeah, I definitely think it could have gone a lot better. Like I said, if there was another way to offer it that wasn't just Robux, I think it would make the community a lot easier, or not a lot easier, sorry, a lot happier.
Hmm.
But yeah, sorry, sorry, I haven't been awake for that long today, so I'm a bit tired.
It's all good. I guess like when it comes to like having a way, I know like throughout the stream we've kind of all like why is everyone why is everyone spamming
What?
one?
Oh yeah,
No, 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 no. Spam 32.
no, oh, because they
32.
want someone else to speak. Okay, no, spam 32.
There it is. There it is. 32. But yeah, like during the stream, I know a lot of one of the biggest things that a lot of everyone's been talking about is like mission quest, mission quest, mission quest. So I
Right.
think it's kind of like I think that is the next thing that we're going to explore for this. One thing I do have a question is like with Mission Quest, how often do you guys like? Because Mission Quest is kind of just rotating daily thing, right? It's almost like a shop that rotates daily. Like with Mission Quest, how often do you guys like actually go, or how often do you often like sign into the game to check what's available?
Well, it's a good question. I'd say it depends. Like, okay, if you have like a lot of like if you've already done like a lot of mission quests, then you probably wouldn't want to log in too much because you've already probably done most of them. But if you don't have a lot of missions done, like yeah, you probably want to log in a bunch, see what is available and what you can do. So it kind of makes me think, oh, what if we add more missions like we have been doing, like with the Fallen missions that just came out? It gives players more options. Like, oh, I want this like Fallen Engineer skin. I'm gonna do this mission, but then like after they do that, oh, I've got no more missions to do, or not a lot more to do, or something like that. So I think really adding more missions to the game would definitely help out a lot, and even like longer missions. Like I saw like some missions are 3, some are 4, and it kind of depends what the quality of the skin is. It even made
Mhm.
me thinking if Mako DJ was like a quest skin, what if he made it like a huge quest line, like 6 quests or something like that?
Yeah. I think that would be pretty cool for us to experiment with. Maybe like if we could start experimenting with even trying to establish some sort of lore with the Maka DJ skin if we had a sort of storytelling quest that players could play through.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It could even be like how like like the solar eclipse and lunar overture, like those axe system.
yeah.
What if I like implemented that as a challenge? You're given like set towers, and it's a bunch of missions you do, and it has like with the lore of Mako DJ, and once you finished all, you get the skin or something
Yeah.
like that.
Interesting. Yeah, we could look into that and maybe combine them together. I do want to ask you, I guess, like from a player's view, right? Because it's a little hard for developers to really determine the value of these features just by like ourselves because it's a little biased. But like,
Hmm.
I guess I do want to ask you a little like kind of pick your brain about some recent updates that we did. Fallen I guess Fallen Skins, right? When we
Right.
launched the Fallen Skins updates into the both parts of it, versus and kind of added that like Robux option. How did you feel about that? Because that was something new. Previously, fallen skins were or mission quests were something that you could only obtain by
Are you
just
talking about the skip
yeah, the
Robux
skip
option? Okay.
Robux button. How did you? What was your impression of that when it was added? Did you see it as a negative thing or a positive thing?
Okay. Well, I'm leaning more towards a positive thing because you can pay to win it. Like if you don't have time to do the missions, like oh this is gonna take too long, or I can't do this without help or something like that, then yeah, you could just pay to win it. You don't have to do the missions at all. But it also it's not like it's locked behind a paywall completely. Like with Mako DG, you can still do the mission and get the skin. It's just if you have Robux, so you can save yourself time and you don't have to like do all the quests for the skin.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I do like it though. It definitely helps.
Yeah. And
But
with
it
like
isn't like a negative where it's like it's stuck being pay to win.
yeah, and with like the amount of missions we added, because I know we added a pretty large amount of
12.
yeah, no, I think it was like 13. I think it was like 13 mission quest for fallen skins. Like did things feel like it was drawn out too much in terms of sheer and did it feel overwhelming in terms of like sheer numbers? Because
With how
one
many?
of the things we're trying to figure out is like, hey, is like our mission quest the way to go, and is there room for us to increase difficulty with mission quests?
Well, I think the way that they came out was a good idea, like releasing them in batches, like how I think like there was like 5 or 6 between each part. I think that definitely gave players more breathing room. Although I have noticed that when the first part came out and after the second part came out, it took like a week, I think, for one of the skins to get into rotation, and by then there was already another update out, so people would probably be like confused, say, "Hey, where's the skin? Did it get like abandoned or something like that?"
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
I think
so
that could be probably addressed.
yeah, so maybe what we could do, I guess. So I guess what I'm trying to get from like what you said and what I'm trying to pull is that I guess sometimes like waiting for that right rotation for the skin that you want is kind of difficult or kind of frustrating because there's not a lot
Mhm.
of contract or mission choice to begin with.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess if we were to expand the number of daily missions in rotation, do you think that could sort of help with that? Or should we maybe just make it so every single mission is purchasable like at all times?
Hmm. I'm not sure. That took me some thinking. Um.
Because like we're trying to, I guess what right now what we're trying to figure out is like if we want to go forward with this whole like mission quest idea, how do we improve mission quests?
Yeah, like expand on it.
Yeah. Oh,
What I was thinking, this might be, I don't know if this would actually happen. What if you could have multiple missions going at once? Like two, for example.
I think we could look into that, but we like from our experimentation, it kind of was a little tricky back end wise, but also objectively, it didn't really feel linear. It didn't feel like you were, I guess, moving in a sense of progression, and more or less felt like a daily quest when we did that. So,
Right.
um, but maybe we can look into the option of offering to maybe like higher end, like it's like VIP users or something. But that's something that we can keep in mind
And
of.
if that would happen, I think another thing that'll be really good to do, maybe increase the amount of missions that appear daily, like from like 3 to 5. But I'd say only do that when there's a lot more missions in game, because if it's only
Yeah.
3 slots, it's going to be really hard to rotate it out for a skin that you want to get. If there's at least 5 in rotation, I'd say, when there's like, I don't know, for example, like 20 mission quests in game, it would be a lot easier to get the skin you want.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah. We'll definitely look into that then because I think like right now we're starting to really build up that number of mission quests that we have. I think we have like probably like 20-ish, right? Or like
Yeah, I think there was like 20, and there's only probably gonna be more.
yeah. Huh. Okay.
I do have an interesting question for you, actually. Um, with this upcoming Halloween event, did you want to implement like Halloween-esque missions in any way?
We're thinking about that, but that's to be determined.
It's
Right.
in the talks.
Yeah, it's in the talks.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. But I think we're gonna move on to the next person. But
May
thank
I
you
suggest
yeah.
someone?
Oh yeah, definitely give a suggestion.
Would you like to bring Jordan State up here?
Yeah, well, I think we'll like to talk to Jordan because he does do a lot
did
of these.
request
I say that he put a request, but he does a lot of live streams. And we often tune into those. So yeah, we'll definitely like to talk to him. But I think we're gonna keep this to two more. So we're gonna do one more person and then Jordan.
All right, peace.
All right, cool. And let's jump right into it. I think the next person I do want to talk to is I do want to because I know he's pretty vocal about community needs. I'm gonna bring up Encrypted. If I can find you in the crowd, like there's a lot of people in here.
Search.
Is there a search? There's 810 people. Ah, I see. Okay. There we go. A lot of people. What? Is he
Is he not here?
is he not in here anymore? I think he maybe left.
No, I am here. Hello.
Oh, you
you're
are
here.
here. There you are.
Yeah, I was.
There you are. But yeah. I don't know where to start. So just I guess
Uh,
completely unfiltered, just like lay it out for us. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I wanna start with the whole DJ the Ultimate Skin thing, because
Yeah.
I do think it can work in the long run. It just, in my opinion, it is just unfortunate that like all the events like happened at the same time. That community doesn't really like this update because of all the things combined. Because I think the ultimate skins can work because it does provide high quality skins for no gambling, because the Lux crate has a lot of skins, and if you want, let's say any skin from the Lux crate, you do have to gamble. And with ultimate skins, you don't really have to do that. But from what Corso said before, a lot of people thought that this would be another maybe free way to get a good quality skin. And I think a lot of people in the community believe that. But also the price, it is kind of expensive. I don't expect it to go that much down, but it is almost like $10, I think, for a lot of people. So it is expensive for a skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like one of the I guess I can explain my thought process when designing this. I was kind of thinking from the point like, hey, because like we have the option of either releasing this as a extremely rare chance in the deluxe crate, or just providing as a game pass, and it's like ultimately, do you end up spending more Robux trying to get this really low chance of like, what is it, like 1%? Versus just spending a flat fee of 750 Robux, right? So that's one of the things that we're kind of doing, and I guess for a completionist, no, because for someone who already has all the deluxe crates, you only buy one deluxe crate and unbox it immediately. But what about for the normal user, right? The normal user who isn't a completionist, who hasn't unlocked every single deluxe crate, and has to go through 5 or 10 deluxe crates just to unlock the new ultra legendary ultimate shiny unicorn poop rarity, right?
Yeah.
That's a meme reference right there. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like what is that, like what is that middle ground that we're trying to figure out? What we're trying to find a middle ground between that, and like obviously you guys know that the price of a deluxe crate's like 250, so things add up quickly.
Yeah, especially for the casual players, because I don't think a lot of people do have all the deluxe skins. I don't even have all the deluxe skins. I still have some skins I haven't unlocked yet. And yeah, it is also another thing that I've noticed from this update is that content-wise, it's not a lot of people, like, it's not a lot of content for people who just play the game like free to play, because it was just Plushy skin and Mako DJ skin, and I think that was really the point of why this update was so controversial
Yeah,
for a lot of people.
I can see it. I think one of the things that we're kind of trying to figure out is our update schedule. I think like compared to last year and the year before, I think it's very noticeable that we really have ramped up in our update schedule, trying to commit to a almost weekly schedule. And we did experiment with a bi-weekly schedule as well for updates. So I guess like we're at a point we're trying to figure out like at a point does the community care if we have a delay between updates or to provide more meaty updates or should we continue constantly iterating and adding every single week, right, on getting things to the players' hands as soon as possible. That's one of the things we're kind of like trying to figure out. At the same time, this update was it was a little weird schedule wise because we have RDC that we're attending, so we're for the most part away from most of our computers and just out here in San Jose. So, and I guess complete disclosure, by the way, next week is just going to be purely skins as a content update. It's a content update. It's going to be skins because and mostly it's going to be automated, pushed out while we're away at RDC. So we're kind of we're in that place where we're trying to find a balance. I guess do you think it would have been better if we held back on an update this week and if we were to do it like let's say and if we were to do it let's say next week instead if things were different?
Things are different. I'm not exactly sure. Believe that if any content, like any skins gets added, for example, the Fallen skins series with all the mission quests, I think a lot of people like those because you can get them for free. The only annoying part was RNG on those mission quests because you could get the same quest rotation several times in a row, and that was just really annoying for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think if any content is like added like mission quest wise, that people can grind for like a skin, then I think it's worth putting out. But if it's like an update that is purely like only people who pay the money to access that new content, I don't think it's that worth it, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Because then a lot of people get hyped for an update. They join the game and then figure out that the only content they have is bug fixes, which are good, by the way. Bug fixes are always nice, but content-wise, it's only paid stuff. So it does create a lot of disappointment, in my opinion.
Gotcha. I see your point, and I think that like kind of goes to us like trying to both like one balance updates to be able to cater towards I guess monetization and free to play users while at the same time what is it? While at the same time trying to I'm trying to like jog my thoughts. Um Wow, I completely forgot what I was saying. Sorry. But ultimately, yeah, I think we need one thing that we could do to help with these updates in the future is to just make sure that we're pushing out in these updates something that affects both that's meaningful and impactful for both types of users, both paying users and free users. Otherwise, we probably should put things aside.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. And I noticed that you did mention that we should probably increase the number of mission quests available.
I think it would be nice to do that. If like the more mission quests you guys add to the game, I think it should be somehow people should be able to get more of them to choose from.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because that's kind of like the problem. The same problem is with the challenge maps. I think that there was a period of time that challenge maps just switched between like two. I think there's like 7 challenge maps, and in span of 3 weeks there was only like back to basics, all slimes, back to basics, all slimes, and it does create a bit of problems. I am not sure exactly on how it was because I stopped looking at those challenge maps, but I think that was the case where the challenge maps just switched between each other.
Sorry, back to basics, all slimes. One thing I want to ask about challenge maps is like, do you think that challenge maps are useful, and do you think that they add, I guess, meaningful, or like they add, do you think challenge maps in their current state add meaningful
Content?
like content to your and change up your game everyday gameplay? Because one of the things that we were trying to look for with challenge maps were to like, hey, how do we spice up things a little? How do we make gameplay a little more unique every once in a while for users? I guess, does it currently achieve that, or does it kind of feel the same, just going through same old TDS? Like,
I don't feel like it does kind of feel this way, that it's like the same old TDS, because all challenge maps are exactly going from wave 1 to wave 40, where I think some of the challenge maps could have like unique waves. Like not a lot of them, but unique waves that are like, for example, fast to get through but difficult to figure out how to beat.
mm-hmm. Gotcha. So I guess more like unique. So basically, I guess if we were to add more uniqueness to these waves rather than just modifiers, like you think that'll like make things more interesting and change up like the standard gameplay loop.
Maybe I think so, because all the challenge maps in my opinion that all the challenge maps that are in the game are just modifiers fallen from wave 1 to wave 14. Pretty much that's all the challenge maps. And it does create a bunch of problems. Because for the most part, except for like Back to Basics and Juggernaut Challenge, you can pretty much, I think, win with the same exact loadout all the other challenge maps.
Yeah. Okay. Thankfully, one thing that we've done, thanks to Tyler for making the whole challenge map system, is that it's extremely customizable for us. So we can go and we can legitimately do that. While it will take some time for us to balance, that's something that we could look into to making them more unique. I guess sort of like how Back to Basics is kind of like completely changed up that versus your standard gameplay, custom wave structures, unique different enemies. So we can definitely look into that. I guess, do you feel like that one, like, what is it? I know we have a limit on playing one challenge map per week. Do you think we should just unlock that and you play whenever? Or every
Maybe.
days, yeah. Or do you think that like, one time per few days is good?
It's limited.
I do think that one time per week is way too long, because you can just win it once and you have to wait an entire week for any new map, which entire new challenge. I think it should be the limit. I mean, the timer should be reduced. You shouldn't have to wait a week for a new challenge maps.
Maybe we can make it.
Does. Yeah, I think it should be faster. Like allow people to maybe choose. For example, let's say maybe instead of having one challenge maps, maybe have multiple in a span of like several days. Like not a week, but several days.
Mm-hmm.
But they can choose from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's something we'll keep note of that. Yeah, we'll definitely keep note of that. And maybe I think one thing we might look
do
into.
have one in the works.
Oh yeah, we do have one really fun one in the works.
That's a fun one.
That's
Really like a really fun one, but that'll come out when the funny tower comes out. But
It's got its own map for everything.
oh yeah. Okay, but we'll definitely keep that up to try keep that in mind to try to see how we can like spice up selection for it. Cool. All right. But other than that, anything else you want to talk about, Egg?
I'm thinking about one thing. and I've been playing this game for a long time, and from what I've noticed from those years, the game progressively gets easier and easier. For example, each update. That's what I've seen, and for the most part, I think most of the updates, in my opinion, were basically there was a new game mode added. Towers were kind of balanced in a way that the new game mode was possible to beat, but then all the game modes kind of got much easier, which I think the best proof of that is that hardcore mode. Back then, when it got firstly added, it was pretty much impossible to win in a duo. Even you had to work very hardly to win that game mode. But now you can win hardcore in a solo match pretty easily, and that's like kind of concerning to me on what you guys plan on doing with the game's difficulty. Are you guys going to add new game modes like new Hidden Wave? Because Hidden Wave is fun.
Yeah,
and difficult.
one of the things that we've been kind of going through the game modes, revising them. First started with easy, intermediate, next, and then fallen. Next, we're doing molten. I think the last thing we're gonna do is I think we're gonna save hardcore for last, because with hardcore we're looking to do something really special. So it's really the biggest thing is that's bottlenecking us is really just production on it, because these are like really asset heavy modes, right? And they take months upon months to work on. So I think one of the things is that I can confirm right now, that doesn't give away too much, is that we do plan on adding harder modes beyond just like fallen and hardcore. When that'll come out is I don't know about this year, because this year we want to have a bigger focus on getting PvP out and then starting the remake for hardcore mode. But it is something that we have noticed in terms of progression, and we want to be able to uncap that progression cap that right now, because right now all the users progression is capped at hardcore mode, right? Once you reach that, it's like you hit a wall with progression, and it's at that point you're kind of I don't know, like at that point, yeah, it's about finding different ways to play the game rather than unlocking the next big thing. So I think that is once we're able to fix and redo some of these older modes that have been, I guess, more or less like a like technical depth for us. I think that's when we're going to start exploring uncapping the current in-game progression, adding more and more, so that those players who have already beaten hardcore have the next thing to look towards to.
Okay, I still have one more question regarding the hardcore work. You said that it would be put on the last thing. Do you guys consider bringing the Voidcaster back in any way? Because I think it used to be in the images of the hardcore trailers. It is an enemy that kind of disappeared from the game. Are you guys planning to maybe bring it back in any way?
Definitely. The only reason why it wasn't added back in original hardcore was due to time constraints and due to technical constraints. So we have the engineering team power to do that now, and we have ways to support what it was originally supposed to do. And I'm gonna be complete transparent here, like tell you guys what the Voidcaster was originally supposed to do. She was supposed to be so the Void Reaver was originally supposed to be basically two enemies in one, right? You have the Void Reaver, and then you on top of the Void Reaver as like a sort of like sidekick, you would have the Voidcaster as playing as a support role. We didn't have the functionality back then due to the technical constraints of our old enemy system, but we do have that now. So that is something we will take in account for when we remake hardcore mode.
Okay, so thanks for clearing that up.
Cool. All right. I think we're gonna move on though, because it is.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions I had and
Yeah.
feedback.
Thank you for giving us your feedback, Ag.
Thank you for getting me on stage.
Alrighty. One last one now. This is the last one.
Okay, go stage.
Okay, Jordan.
Jordan.
It's time for you to get on stage.
32 time.
We're gonna need everyone to spam 32 for Jordan first.
Oh, they said no.
Where are you, Jordan? There we go. Everyone spam 32 for Jordan. Hello?
Killed him.
I don't think we hear you. I think we killed him.
The 32s killed him.
Yeah, the 32's killed him. Ultimate bacon cheeseburger.
Shout out to Fallen Chungus.
Shout out to Fallen Chungus.
He died.
Yep. Oh,
He's
I
15.
saw you go mute.
Is it push to talk?
No.
Oh,
I think you all killed Jordan with your 32s.
he's already doing.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, we hear you. We
Oh,
hear
there
you.
we go. You can hear me. I
Yeah.
literally joined and I was like, oh my goodness, 32, no. And then like no one responded. I was like, oh goodness, wait. Oh man. Yo, okay. Sure. One thing I want to say first of all, like it's an amazing skin. Like you guys did actually phenomenal on the skin. Like the whole team did really, really well. I think it's really good. I think it's also really cool having these like ultimate skins being a thing because like it adds like a cool new thing, like like you said earlier in the stage, you were like this cool, extremely rare skin, that only a few people are gonna have pretty much. And I think that's a really, really cool idea. But for first question I want to ask though is, so I think a lot of the problems that people were having was the price being like 750 Robux, which is like $10, which is quite a lot for a lot of people. And so I just wanted to know like what like makes it all 750 Robux.
One of the reasons why we chose 750 Robux was because of, I guess, trying to find a midpoint of between, because our decision, it really came down to, hey, do we want to make it a really low chance in the deluxe crate, or do we just want to flat out offer it to users? So we're kind of looking through and we're like, okay, like if we were to make this a low chance for the deluxe crate, like how many crates would usually take people, like the average user who's not a completionist, to unbox it? That's probably going to be a range between like 4 to like 8, which quickly adds up to like 1.6k Robux, 2k Robux, much more than the dev product, right? Because
Yeah.
we can't keep it at the same rarity as legendary skins, because it's much more than a legendary skin. It has environmental effects, it has
Yeah.
different other towers, etc. So it has to be a lower rarity. And once you get into that territory, being in a deluxe crate skin, you've already spent like over 800, maybe 1,000 Robux just to unlock the skin. Or if you're all, and the only people it would really benefit would be completionists who have already spent that Robux into a
I
bunch,
get you, yeah.
right? So I guess the midpoint that we decided was, hey, 750 Robux, dev product, boom, no RNG.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that. So I've also now got a question. So I agree that it takes like a lot to produce these types of skins because like it's like a lot that goes into it, and so it also seems like the common sentiment that a lot of people have is like maybe lowering down the price to 500. I'm curious if like that would actually be like a plausible thing for you guys because I understand it costs a lot to make these skins, but it seems like a lot more people would appreciate it if it was like a lower price because it is quite a lot for quite a few people. Yeah.
Yeah, we can look into it. The current price that we have is definitely, I guess, there's room to change, right?
Yeah.
And we already collect analytics on how many skin crates are being unboxed, versus how many are being paid for in DevProc. So I think what we're gonna do is like maybe obviously we won't be able to make these changes within the next week because we're here at RDC in San Jose. But this week will give us the amount of time to look at the analytics and see like how we can. I'm not sure if we'll directly do a price change to it, but we can look at the analytics between like people unboxing crates, how much they spend to get I guess a legendary skin versus how much is spent to just straight up buy, or what the percentage of users is that just straight up buy the skin, and the actual like Robux dev product for the skin, and then we might be able to like what we might do is we might come together, look at how we can implement a mission quest with this, with the pricing option, and then just sort of put that together because I do compared to other games for an ultimate skin, like 500 Robux like for basically an equivalent of a huge pet in like Pet Sim, or like a ultra legendary skin in like what's it like criminality, right? 500 is like nothing compared to those. So
Yeah,
it
that's what I was thinking
kind of
too when
purpose of
first
it being a
came
rare
out.
skin. And we want to create something rare
Mm.
for users.
Yeah. I that's what I was thinking a lot too when it like when it dropped. I was thinking like if you compare it to a lot of the other games, it's very generous like in terms of the price. But yeah. Other things though, I also wanted to expand upon Corso's thing with like the admin commands thingy. I think that's actually a really sick idea. I think that's actually a really, really cool idea. Wait, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry, it's like 4 a.m. What was I gonna say again? Oh yeah, it was like expanding upon your point. Like, how are you guys gonna make it so it's not like people like, oh, I've got admin commands now. What's the point of playing regular TDS if I could just spawn in anything, you know? Because I feel like like you said, that's like a huge problem with a lot of the other games. Like, as soon as people get admin commands, it becomes immediately less fun.
With the admin command stuff that we're developing, that's the part that we're struggling to figure out because like trust me, like it's actually done. We're just trying to figure out how to balance it.
Yeah.
And that's what takes the longest time. It really is just balancing and polish. So that is a sort of thing that we're looking for feedback on, looking around at other games and researching on. So that's something we don't have the answers to that right now, but it's something we acknowledge, right? We know that is an issue. That's a very, very big issue, and we are trying to find a way to address that really.
Yeah, I get you. And then okay, so this was gonna be like a personal request from me, like as a streamer. I know it's very hard with TDS, like there's like a lot of skins in the game now, like it lags out the game. But mega servers, as a streamer, mega servers were like the most amazing thing back in the days. You know? Is there like any chance that they can return? Any chance?
They're added with Sandbox mode.
Oh, okay.
Sandbox mode. We have mega servers Sandbox mode. That's something I'll leak. Yeah, we already have mega servers back for Sandbox mode. So
Let's go. Let's actually go. This Sandbox mode is gonna be S tier update.
yeah, one thing I guess we do have to go soon because our team has to get dinner. But one thing that I do want to ask you, because I know you're kind of one of our only streamers at the moment. I know a lot of people do streaming. I saw that Harrison just got back with streaming. That was
Yep.
exciting. But how I guess with streams, like, are there any requests that you guys can kind of make to us to, or any like requests on how we can make it so you guys can interact with your fans more often, and how we can incentivize you guys to keep streaming?
So I think the main one really is, I don't know if you've seen, I think it's Tower Heroes. It's got the way that you can do the chat, and that like it changes the game. Like the chat can vote, and that like a random event will happen, that type of thing. I think that would be perfect for streamers. And then the only other thing really would be the mega servers, but you've already addressed that with the sandbox mode. And I feel like that would be the main things for streamers. And that would encourage a lot more people to stream TDS, in my opinion.
Okay, those are some pretty good pretty good suggestions. And I guess I'm gonna end things soon, but I do want to get your opinion on this, and this goes out to anyone that streams. So I'm sure you're familiar with content creator skins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if we gave streamers like a limited number of codes per month to, like, for you guys to give out to fans during streams, that way they could get those skins for free by doing different things in your, I guess, in your stream, your chat, interacting, etc. How do you thoughts on
I
this?
think it would be a cool idea, but I think from the general sentiment of a lot of people would be, like I already am seeing in the chat, like it'd be unfair. Some people would not be able to, and like obviously all your fans wouldn't be able to get the skin, you know. But I do think the code thing is a good idea. I think you guys were like wanting to do something like that back like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I do see what you're meaning in terms of that. I think in terms of that, like it'd be better to do the Fortnite route where before content creator skin comes out, you know, then you like give a few codes to some people so they can use it quickly before it like drops, like a day or two before the skin drops in the shop, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that Fortnite did that, but yeah, that sounds like a pretty awesome idea. We have a couple content creator skins coming on the line.
Like yours.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool idea. I'll be in touch with you on that. All right.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, but I think I'm gonna end it there. So get out of here. 32.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but I think we're gonna end this here. Thank you a lot to, like, I guess, the community who came out to sort of to give your feedback and help us figure out on ways that we can improve these updates in the game. We're definitely looking forward to doing these more often and just hearing back from the community. And improving. So with that, I'm going to end this stream, and we are going to unlock the Discord again in like maybe an hour. So
After we eat.
yeah, after we eat, because we're starving. Hey, Specton,
So unlock the.
you want to lift the floodgates?
Oh, you want to do the floodgate?
You want to lift the floodgates now?
I mean, do you want to do it now?
Yeah, let's free everyone. Let's free everyone so they're not confined to this little chat.
Do you want to do the entire Discord or the 3 primary channels, which is
Let's do the
general
3
TDS
primary.
discussion?
Let's do the 3 primary ones and then unlock everything later.
Okay, sure. I will
All
do
right.
that then. You go have a good food.
All
I'll
right.
just stay here and do that.
Thanks. All right, everyone, you're free. Bye.
Release the floodgates back.